Pursuits Rut and River.
Yes.
Correct.
R-U-T.
I rest my beard hair on it.
And then you know you're there.
Like a nice, gentle little pillow for my beard.
Right.
And then I'm all up in it.
Oh.
I'm like Kobe beef for sharks.
Can I ask you, what made you guys call me up about, well, this?
That's what tickles our fancy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thought the Rocky Mountains would be rockier.
John Denver is not accurate.
A guy like you, who has absolutely no clue, and I can hear it in your voice, that, I mean, you're a blank canvas. I mean, I can just start with you like from scratch.
You're going to tell me, a grown man, you're telling me what lure to use and how to fish?
You guys didn't snap your whopper plopper off either, though.
Sorry,
I blew up over that.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Rut and River Pursuits podcast. We are gathered around the Sonic Campfire tonight. I'm Steve.
I'm Catfish.
I'm Will.
Gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
pick up your phone, open Instagram,
Got it.
and type in Krysten Potega.
Yeah.
Is that K-R-Y?
Krysten
Gotcha.
Potega.
Well, that comes up right away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's going to pop up right
Look
away.
at-
If you're even...
Holy mackerel, look at this girl. She
Look at her.
She's a killer.
If you do any type of following anybody in the fishing world, hunting world,
Any kind of outdoorsing.
any outdoorsing on Instagram, and you don't know who Krysten Potega is, I don't know what to tell you.
Now that I got past the killing pictures, look how many fish she catches.
Isn't that?
I'm just
Crazy.
picking. I've been following you forever, so let's talk to her.
Let's talk to her. Krysten, how you doing?
Let's get her on.
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Never better. Never better. What have you been up to today?
Well, I actually just got back in from the tree stand, so I'm warming up and had a bite to eat and drinking a little wine and talking to you guys.
Pretty nice little Thursday, huh?
Yeah, perfect Thursday.
So where are you at, Krysten?
I'm actually in central Wisconsin, just outside of Stevens Point.
Oh,
What is it with Wisconsin that breeds all of these amazing outdoors women?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
I think it's just that you can catch anything you want, and it's fall and it looks like, everything's beautiful. There's lakes everywhere,
Yep.
I heard.
So there's tons of lakes, that's for sure.
It almost seems like it's all, like Pennsylvania with the heritage there too. It seems like it's kind of in the culture thicker in Wisconsin, like it is in Pennsylvania. Like whether it be deer hunting or fishing or whatever, it's just kind of natural there. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, that's what we're born and bred for here.
Right.
You know, if you don't go to deer camp as a kid and help butcher and gut deer, then you're doing something wrong in Wisconsin.
So you've been hunting since you were a kid then, huh?
Yes, I've been hunting and fishing since I was a kid.
Wow. Did your family get you started in that?
Yep. My parents thought it was really good to be raised outdoors. My dad was hunting as a kid, and then he kind of brought us up both fishing and hunting. And as soon as we could get our hunter safety, we got it and started hunting thereafter.
Am I allowed to ask her about a picture yet? Can I jump like 10,000 feet ahead?
You can do it,
It's
bud.
bugging me. I'm
It's
staring
your
at this.
show.
So, Chris, I have to ask you about this one picture. And I'm looking at this picture right now of you holding a channel cat standing on the ice.
Yes.
Is that something that's typical up there, or was that an accident, or is it something?
So that's pretty typical for that spot. We actually always do it. Every year we do both ice and open water fishing in that spot. So we'll have a couple rods set out to open water, and then we'll have a few tip-ups further in. And then, yeah, that's kind of how we do it out there.
But the channel cats are a targeted species there?
Yep. You get channel cats, pike, and walleye all kind of mixed in, especially out, like when ice out. There's a lot of channel cats. They're constantly biting. It's not uncommon to get 10 to 50, not 50, but 15 a night.
What?
That's like I'm really intrigued by that. I mean, we fish winter obviously here for catfish, but not standing on the ice like that.
No.
I'm going to have to get you to give me those coordinates There's GPS coordinates for that spot.
How do you target a catfish through the ice?
It's just impressive. It's very cool.
Actually, I really like jigging wraps and spoons. They like fathead minnows. We'll put them on a floater and cast those out, or we'll put them on a tip up. And when they hit a tip up, I mean, it's as fast as your line can get pulled out. They are crazy.
And it's just an intriguing picture too. Looking at the actual species of channel cat you have there, obviously their heads are a little shorter and fatter here, and this has a longer face on it. I love that. Not only is this a great picture, it's an intriguing picture for the fact that it looks like a cool thing to do in the wintertime.
I think that their channel cats look like they're built for speed.
Yes, and ours are like lazy fat and waiting for somebody to feed them a bluegill, right? Yeah. No, it's where you live. Looking at your Instagram, just really looks like some beautiful, beautiful country, and I'm glad you're taking advantage of it.
I love it up here. I actually moved up here for school, and I just never left. So.
Oh, cool. Did you said you were in the stand today, right? So I'm guessing.
Yes, I was.
It's this archery season out there.
Yep. Bow season it started September 15th, and it will run through like January 1st-ish.
Is the rut on up there?
Yes, most definitely. It's hit and miss in a lot of spots, but when I was driving over, I had like a nice 8-pointer standing in front of my car, and I pulled over, took a little video. He was hot on a doe. When I got in the stand, I saw quite a few does and fawns and a nice buck, I believe. And by the time I saw him, he was pushing all the does out of the field. So it just probably about 300 yards was the closest I saw. So still nice to get out. It was a beautiful evening. I mean, it was like 30, but wind chill about 25, but then it died right off. So it was a good night to be out. Just no luck today.
Yeah. I think that Wisconsin has a really decent number of deer population too. Don't quote me, but I think they're right up there with Pennsylvania with vehicle hits with cars, especially this time of year.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah. You can't drive to work here without seeing two of them. It's sad on the side of the road, 2-3 on the way to work, and it's like every day it's something new. Today on the way home from work at 3:30, I had a big doe walk out in front of me in front of my truck at broad daylight. So I tell rut season's in full swing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's a typical deer go for up there? What would typical size?
I guess it depends on what you're looking for, what class you're looking for. I mean, I would say like a lot of people are happy with a certain deer, and I'm not one to judge with anything like that, especially if you have a freezer full. To me, that's the biggest trophy. But, I'm still after my first bow buck, I'll be honest. I did get one with a gun, and I was super happy with it, but depends on the land, too. We have some areas that are more marshy or prairie, and I don't think deer get quite as big or they hide better. But like somebody like my fiance shot a 180 class deer.
He did?
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Wow.
That is a big deal.
So,
wow.
And their body weight, I think, are like we have big deer in Pennsylvania, but I think Wisconsin's body weights are larger.
Are they?
I believe so.
I'd say we have some big deer. Like again, my fiance last week shot his buck, and it was once it was ungutted, it was like 178.
Well, let's get that out of the way. What's your fiance's name? Because I've been seeing pictures of him on here too.
Trevor Hins. He's a great outdoors guy as well.
Is he? That's
cool. It's been great. I actually met him in college.
It sounds like he's taking all your deer, though.
I was going to say, like,
I know.
he's breaking all the rules here. I scrolled down here looking at one of these pictures. He's giving you a smooch on the boat while he's holding a net, and that's, you never catch a fish after that the rest of the day. Tell him to stop doing that. Leave that for the parking lot. So.
The funny thing is, that's the day we got engaged. So I guess I got some a little bigger that day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get engaged on the boat?
Yes, we did.
Oh, no
That's
way.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Very cool.
That is cool.
Very cool.
So what does if you could pick what your first archery buck would be, describe that. Like what would that look like?
Honestly, I would say that's a really hard one to say. I've passed spikes, I've passed forks, I've passed, small sixes, just because I'm one of those let it grow type people. So I'd be tickled with a nice 2.5-year-old. Whether, depending on what that looks like, because the genetics is a big factor on that. We've got some huge 2.5s. We've got some young 2.5s that are kind of small. So honestly, I think I'd be happy with anything. It's just, I'm trying to give it so it's got a little basket rack, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well,
But I'd just be happy filling the freezer too.
Yeah, the nice thing with that is then you can grow with it. I mean,
Yeah.
I dated a girl in high school who made the paper. She shot a 16 point the first day her dad ever took her out whenever she was 13 years old. And she quit hunting after that. She's like, this is easy. 5 minutes after she got in the stand, she shot
whacked a 16.
Oh, yeah, and it was huge back in Blair County. So, like, when it made the paper, her dad said in the paper he's been hunting that stand for 25 years, never seen a deer like that.
Right.
5 minutes in the stand, knocked this deer down, and so this girl, I won't say her name because my wife listens to it, but she she quit hunting. So actually, I think it's a good thing to start with a nice shooter buck and then work up from that. Absolutely.
I mean, don't pass a 16 point. Just so you can get your feet wet.
No, I'm going to pass it to go for that little 8 point because I got to start small and work my way, work my way up.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You got to do. Leave that buck for me. Call me when you see it.
This buck's too big for me.
I'm not.
We have some really nice ones around. It's just I haven't had, a shot at them yet. And you know what? I've had shots at some nice ones that, in my experience, I've screwed up on. So I'm human enough to admit I've messed up on more than I care to admit, but I'll get there one day. It will happen for me.
Well, that's how you grow as a hunter. I've messed up lots of times, tons and tons of times.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I've let my bow down more than once on a 6 point up here in Pennsylvania. And hunting mountain bucks, that's kind of like a no-no. If you get a shot at a decent shooter buck, then you should take it. But I'm totally happy back in the day when we could shoot spikes when I was a kid. They meant everything to me, just to get a buck in general was, it was really cool whenever you were younger. It didn't matter what it was. And I don't even think now later in life as a hunter, I don't really care how big bucks are. I think it's the experience of really just dropping one and putting it in the freezer and getting that honey bun at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, looking at it from a Pennsylvania standpoint,
right,
is way different from a Texas standpoint
or an Illinois or
yeah. It's a way your view, your vantage points all kind of
sure, yeah. But nope, I agree.
I mean,
talking as a Pennsylvanian,
I was just out of state last week, so it was a whole different world. But no, when you're here in PA, and I'm pretty sure Wisconsin is somewhat similar, you're getting into, you get those opportunities there, 1-2 times a year, and
right.
Those really special ones, and if you're not able to capitalize or whatever, it's just
season's over,
par for the course.
Yeah.
Do you normally hunt alone, Krysten?
I do a little bit of both. Like tonight I was alone out hunting, but otherwise I'll go with my fiance, or they have some hunting land in southwest Wisconsin, so we'll stay at the house, and then, we'll all go our separate ways to separate stands and sit out and hunt.
I see that shed hunting looks like it's one of your favorite pastimes too. Is that something that you guys do up in Wisconsin a lot?
We actually just picked it up a couple of years ago. It was one of those, we just were like, why are we letting all these sheds just get chewed up by squirrels and that? So we decided to just take a walk on the land, and the first time we had done it, I think we found like 8 or 10 sheds and a beautiful deadhead, and we were kind of hooked after that. So. Yeah.
That's a fun time. It's just a nice time just to get out and walk around, and you're not really worried about too much, like, end of anything, scent control, nothing. You're just having a good day in the woods, right?
Exactly. And our shed hunting kind of falls right around turkey hunting. So there's been times where we'll turkey hunt in the morning, get morels in the midday, and then go shed hunting for a little bit in the afternoon. So kind of make it worth our while being out in nature.
That's like a whole day's worth then.
Yeah.
It is.
I love those days because our turkey hunting here is exactly when crappie fishing is the hottest in Pennsylvania. So we turkey hunt in the morning and crappie fish off the kayaks and stuff in the afternoon. And those days are really special when you can spend the whole day doing 2 things that you love to do Oh yeah, that's good.
The water's still cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are nice.
So if there's two things you could do on any day, outdoorsy wise, what would those two things be?
Ooh.
Catfishes would be turkey hunting and crappie fishing.
No, I didn't say that was my favorite
right.
thing to do.
Come on.
My bad.
Yeah. Don't put
That's actually a really tough one because it's
seasons in his mouth.
I would say it varies day to day. I mean, we have a really great white bass run up here, which is super fun. You can get 200 to 300 in a day. That's
What?
fun to do.
White bass?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, white bass. We're kind of noted where we're at in the area. It's called the Wolf River, and the white bass run is just crazy. I mean, people will line shoulder to shoulder on the shoreline, catching them and filling up coolers. And there's no limit on them because they're, I wouldn't say invasive, but they have such a high population that you can't even put a dent in them.
Oh, man.
So, and they're good eating as long as you get mudline out and that. And, we do fish fries with that, or we'll pickle them, and they're great eating. But that also falls right around turkey hunting. And now I've gotten 2 turkey. I just picked it up not long ago, and I'm hooked on that. So there's just so many outdoor activities you can do that it's hard to pick.
I need to jump back just a hair because you just blew through it like it was no thing at all. I'm going to need that pickling recipe for white bass.
That could be done. I'll have to find it, but it's super easy. It's like pickling, like you're going to, like at wherever, like a canning store, you get canned. We get like the mason jars, pickling spice.
Yeah.
I think you need like sugar and vinegar, and it turns out super good. You put it on a saltine cracker, and it's perfect little hors d'oeuvre.
Do you fillet the bass first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
You
it's not
fillet
like
it, and you make sure to get all the mud line out too, because the mud line will give it a very not great flavor.
Right.
Sure.
What about this? What about this dogfish that you caught through the ice? I mean, it doesn't look like a bowfin, but it doesn't look like a snakehead. I'm not sure what this is.
Dogfish and bowfin are one and the same. It just depends where you're at. People call them different things. We get a ton of them through the ice, actually.
bowfin.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like a bowfin.
They're
I
big,
didn't
too.
see the spot on it, and it looked just like a bowfin, so they call them dogfish, apparently.
Yep, it's one and the same. I think dogfish might be the politically incorrect. People just call it by that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of its nickname.
I've never eaten a bowfin. They're like a prehistoric. It's one of the oldest fish on the planet. Have you ever eaten one of these?
No, I have not. I'll be honest.
No.
We normally, a lot of people will tell us, you should whack them over the head and throw them on shore or kill them. But most of the time, we just put them back.
You ever had pickled bowfin? I'm just kidding.
No, I can't say I have. But you know what? It might go on my itinerary.
I'm just picking. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that, the pickled fish. I've never had it.
Well,
No, me
after
neither.
we were shad fishing earlier this year, a guy I work with said, "Did you pickle any of those?" And I guess people pickle the whole shad. They don't. You drop the whole thing in a jar, and
They're big though, and they're not just like a
not gigantic
sardine kinda.
the 3-pounders, but smaller. I don't know if they're shad.
I've
some
never
type
eaten
of-
pickled fish at all.
At all.
Yeah.
It's not a Pennsylvania
Herring.
thing.
That's what it is. Pickled herring.
I never had it.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah, not shad. Herring. Yeah, they pickle the whole thing.
I'm gonna say, I
Well,
don't.
people do Cisco too, which are actually very similar to a shad or a herring, and people pickle those. I haven't tried it personally, so I can't tell you because I know they pickle the whole fish. We just, when we fillet up white bass, we'll cut them into kind of like a nugget size, put them in a jar with onions and the pickling spices. You have to leave it for, I think it might be a week. And then it's very good, and like I said, a very unique flavor, but on a saltine cracker, they're super good.
Yeah.
I gotta
we're
bring
in.
something up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My mind works weird, so don't mind me, Chris. But
I got my finger on the dump button.
Yeah, there's something that I've never actually asked a female outdoorsman. So
Oh
This-
boy.
Here we go.
how do you deal with this long hair and whenever it gets wet and you're trying to hunt in the cold, or doesn't it freeze?
Yes.
I'd be afraid to get caught in my bowstring, and I think that it would be a burden
What you want? I mean, you want to give me a haircut like your wife?
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, it actually, a lot of the time when I'm fishing, I'll pull it up in a baseball cap. I'll pull it back through the back of the baseball cap, and it keeps it out. Otherwise, when I'm hunting, 99.9% of the time I have it in braids, just because, I give credit to women that can wear their hair down hunting. I'm not one of them. I will get dreads on the back of my neck, and I will have to rip my hair out with a brush. So I literally will always wear it up in braids or pulled back, because it does get in the way for points like that. And plus, when I'm pulling back, I don't want to have to worry about hair getting wrapped in the bow anyway. That obviously would not be good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dumb question. I guess because I'm not saying I'm slightly going bald, but I would kind of have a hair envy thing, and this long hair seemed like it would get like when your beard freezes when we're out shoveling snow and it just turns into a block of ice.
I don't actually know what that's like.
I'm sorry, I was looking at Will, but
I do. I know exactly.
Imagine
what
how
saying.
heavy your hair would get if it froze while you're out ice fishing.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, no. Anyhow, derail. I'm sorry, I just went on a side.
Well, it's just when Catfish was younger, he looked like Samson.
I actually
in the
had
Bible.
hair just like you when I was younger. I had very long hair.
Yeah,
and it was a giant burden to have long hair.
He had feathers in it, like a tracker, like an old tracker.
I'm getting very vivid pictures here.
I bet.
Who takes your pictures, Krysten?
Well, fiance. I'm not gonna lie, Trevor is the one that he's learned. He's my go-to, or I'll take GoPro stills.
That's what I do. Yeah, sometimes that's the easiest. Just a screenshot of a video sometimes is the best. Yep.
Is it? That's a cool idea. So I see a lot of dogs in some of your posts here.
Dogfish?
No, canines.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I have a little girl. She's my baby. I don't have kids, so I consider her my child. Her name's Lily. She's a 2-year-old lab.
Do you take Lily hunting with you?
Catfish has a Lily.
Yeah.
You have a Lily.
I have a wife. We do not have children, so we also have a Lily that is our child. Yes. So I get that totally.
Yep. She's, like I said, she's my child. We take her fishing. She's not so well mannered on the boat. We're working on it. But I've actually recently picked up products from Dog Bone Hunter. If you haven't heard of him, he makes a lot of really cool products. And so we're going to be working with her on shed hunting for spring, and also blood trailing, because she really loves deer.
Right. Is he close? Is he out of Wisconsin? Or
he is out of Wisconsin, I believe.
Very cool. We like our Wisconsin people. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them.
Yeah, they're fun.
I got to get up there. This place.
We've talked to a few.
Since we began, I'm still scrolling. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Wisconsin just seems like just an outdoor mecca.
Have you never been? Have you never been up there?
We drove through it, didn't we, to go to Canada? That's it.
Yeah. Well, that was Michigan. We kind of drove over top of it, but it's not. I mean,
I've never been to Wisconsin. No.
Big tall trees and water everywhere, ponds and lakes.
Sounds about right. A lot of wildlife. Big variety of wildlife, but.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put this phone down. Stop looking through Instagram and let's talk. Let's talk about what do you want to do?
Fishing or hunting? Which one do you like better?
Oh, that's a good question.
You shouldn't ask that. I don't know if that's fair.
No, it's got. I mean, everybody's got a little bit of.
Well, how would you answer that?
Yeah, see, he can't answer.
I want to hear you guys answer the question first.
It's fun. It is a funny question because all my life up until 2 years ago, it was diehard hunting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I ever lived for. And then in the last, and I mean, obviously fish too, but in the last 2 years, it has swang. It turned.
Yeah, we're fishing a lot more.
I'm doing a lot more fishing than I ever have before. Like, I'm still fishing, and it's 2 days left in our archery season. I'm still out fishing, so.
Right.
I would say in this part of my life, it's fishing for me. So,
I don't want to admit it. I'm not comfortable admitting that fishing is.
Really?
You got to go with your heart, bud.
No,
That's what it feels.
Follow your heart.
Don't talk with your brain. To follow your heart.
I like me some fishing, but I love, forever. It's just, my number one thing was hunting, but we do a lot more as a group. We're able to do a lot more as a group fishing. It's easier for us to, to get together, whether it's packing up the kayaks or meeting in a spot.
There's 7 of us. It's hard to hunt 7 guys at a time.
Yeah. Right. So that's our thing.
All right, now it's your turn.
Oh, so you didn't answer.
I'm fishing.
He's all pheasant hunting now.
So this is such a hard one because I guess we kind of do stuff varying on season, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, January, February, we'll be ice fishing, and then it will go to, the white bass run and turkey hunting, and then we'll have, summer fishing, so topwater fishing, and then you get to the fall where we're bow hunting and muskie fishing now, and then we'll start, getting to gun season, which is next week. And so it's like we kind of alternate. Like some of the year I'd be like, yeah, it's fishing. Hands down, I love fishing. And then some of the time I'll be like, gosh, that sit out hunting just got my heart racing. I can't wait to get back out. So as that makes sense, we always kind of plan our activities with the season.
So
So
whatever you have the best chance of being successful at, it sounds. I mean,
exactly.
That's a really good answer.
That sounds like a better question from now on. Instead of asking our guests, do you like hunting or fishing better? What season do you like the best? Whether it is hunting or fishing.
Sure.
Oh, I don't know.
So, I can hands down tell you that topwater fishing is my favorite thing there is in life.
Yeah.
Yes, I love topwater fishing. I'm so with you on that. There's nothing like a blow up on a frog.
Nope. You're right. It's actually, I don't know what it's like to be addicted to some kind of hardcore drugs, but I can imagine it's similar because I go to sleep thinking of water explosions. I wake up and I'm like, oh man, it's 2 hours till daylight. Screw it, I'm throwing frogs until they start to bite.
You broke into a house and stole some crap so you can go to Gander Mountain and buy some lures.
That's right.
Well, if you've never done it either, if you've never done a tip down bite, that is addicting.
You mean on ice fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a super good tip down bite where it's for hours you're just running. I mean, by the next day your legs are so sore just from tip downs, and we get dogfish on them, northern, perch, crappie, bluegill. I mean, you name it, we catch them on them.
I've never been able to witness that. We call them tip ups, but we put tip downs out, and you're lucky to get one bite on them a day if you're lucky.
We need to travel,
there's so many people.
There is a difference between tip ups and tip downs.
Is there?
We don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Please, I don't know the difference.
A tip up obviously is kind of like one with the flag that goes up. You put like a shiner or a chub or whatever on, and you normally get like a northern or largemouth.
Right.
Tip downs are actually like a rod and a stand, and they're designed with a weight in the back so they sit upright. And it's when the fish bites, it will slowly pull it down, and then you watch it tip down, and that's how they got the name.
I got
and
you.
So these, you get a ton. Like I said, when we get a perch run, and it's normally right around March, that is our best ice fishing, right at the last ice. I mean, we're on some pretty sketchy ice, I'm not going to lie. So, but that's when you get the best fish. I mean, I can't tell you how many hundreds of fish we catch. I mean, obviously we try to return them all just because they're going to spawn. We just like catching them.
Right. No, it sounds amazing. I've not witnessed that before, but it sure sounds like that's super addicting. Yeah, we have tip ups here, and then we put them out on the ice while we're ice fishing, and hopefully a walleye grabs one. Every now and again, I hear a guy will get a largemouth bass out of like my lake or something, but it's not a common thing to run for flags here in Pennsylvania, at least in our area. But it sounds super amazing. I mean, if your legs are tired doing anything you love, I'm not. Unless I don't pick on people that ride 10 speeds or run for fun. That's just not my thing. But
right.
I get it. If something gets your heart racing and you fall in love with anything, but I could totally get behind running to tip downs with fish on them. Yeah.
that's the only exercise I get during the year is, walking to a stand or running to tip-ups or tip-downs. I'm not much of a gym person.
You need to quote that. Like, everybody here has, like, some little quote we want to say at the end of our life when everybody talks about each other. Like, so the only exercise she actually ever got was to run to a tip-down.
Yeah.
Or walking to a
In
stand.
her eulogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sadly about right.
Stevie's our main fisherman here at the table, and he's still looking at your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been. We're pushing what, about 40 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes here, and I haven't. I'm still scrolling. There's one thing that sticks out in your fishing videos, and we have to talk about this at length. And
I have no idea what you'd be talking about here.
and that and that is your hook set. Like I lose probably a good 500 fish.
92%.
92% of my fish, because I don't set the hook very well.
Neither do I.
I've never why.
I've never been a super.
You and Krysten actually share the same nickname.
What's that?
The hook set queen.
Say that again.
For
I missed
completely
it.
opposite
Is that
reasons.
Did I hear what I thought I heard? What you say?
The hook set queen.
I thought that's what you said.
No, it's impressive, and there's no. I don't know a lot of people doing that. Like
how do you do that? Like
on a boat.
On a boat.
Like do you do yoga or something? You have an extra, extra toe or something that kind of keeps it balanced.
Here's what I saw in it. I saw somebody who
dew
just
claw?
loves it so much that you almost, to me, the way that I took it was that you get so overly excited that you do not want to lose this fish. Like, I think that's what's going through your head. I'm not losing this one.
Yeah.
Whenever you set the hook.
Yeah, that would probably be a pretty good bet. I mean, I don't want to lose a fish, and especially with frogs or topwater lures in general, you have to make sure you get a good hook set in, because the hooks obviously are kind of hidden. So,
sure.
When I first started using frogs, I don't think I was setting the hook enough, and so I started whamming a little harder, and it seemed to work out well for me.
Yeah, and not only
But
that,
it just looks really awkward.
When you're throwing topwater like that too, you can have some slack in the line. So you got to get when you're working the rod like that, you can have slack when they take it. So I get that.
Well, I don't think it looks awkward at all.
Yeah,
I think it looks pretty cool.
It's an amazing hook set.
Yeah.
There's two people that we have met that have what I call immaculate hook sets. She's one of them.
Bill Dance and Krysten Potega.
The other guy was Monster Mike that did the backflip.
Yeah.
Like you think you have an exaggerated hook set. Monster Mike did backflips to hook his.
Yeah.
Well, he's hooked. So
Tyler Dunn has a nice hook set.
he does, but he's super tall, so it comes natural.
Right,
His
right.
rod comes almost full clock.
You can hear. It doesn't matter if he has a T-shirt on or a jacket. It sounds the same. It's like
It's a whip.
Yeah, it's a whip.
Yeah.
What kind of rod are you using? Because I mean, there you get some bend in that thing.
I use a lot of either St. Croix products or the one I've been using a lot this year was the new Luz Mach 2. I recently picked up bait casters and kind of fell in love, so I picked up the Luz. I think it was this year actually, this spring, and it's been really good to me.
A couple of us have those. They're really great. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And we're using them. Well, the bulk of our heavy lifting on those rods are for smallmouth in the river. And
Fun.
so, yeah. What weight? How long? Do you know those stats?
Mine is 7 foot, medium heavy.
That's right around.
It's kind of an all-around rod too, because she could catch muskies.
That's what I kind of wanted, a general rod to. I know most people are like, you need to go heavier if you're going to do it for frogging, but I'm like, if I go any heavier with my hook set, things could get dangerous. So
No, I'm on track with that. My rod's smaller. I don't use a super heavy rod to go throwing topwater, just because of the fact that I think that I lose the action of the lure if it's too much. Do you throw braid for topwater?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
I won't throw anything but braid.
Yeah, cut through you got lily pads up there, vegetation.
Yeah, we have a ton. We get a lot of sludge and lily pads that you have to cut through. So
Right.
I use a lot of braid. I think it's called Suffix 832. I put like 55 pound on my bait caster, and then we have some other rods that have like a lighter, it's 30-pound braid.
I like what you're selling there.
Stevie doesn't believe. Now we're talking about throwing topwater. We're in it for the next hour. We got onto it now.
Yeah, buckle up.
Yeah. So Stevie doesn't believe that, and I'm going to throw him under the bus, that color means anything to fish. So, like, when you're throwing frogs, do you have a favorite color frog? Is it a natural color, or you throwing bright colors? Because Stevie will argue this all night.
Honestly, I will throw my frogs and pick the color depending on the time of day.
Oh, do tell.
A lot of the time, midday, I'll use a black frog. I think for whatever reason, the sun silhouettes it nicely enough that frogs like it. They have to be in the mood for it, obviously, during the day. I mean, we'll have some days where they're hitting top water midday, and some days it's that last golden hour. And when I get to that golden hour, I've done well on white frogs, which is kind of odd, or natural color. We have some that are kind of more colored, but it just seems for us up here, if you can match the hatch and find, like if we have a leopard frog hatch or whatever, it's kind of nice to just match it accordingly. So, and we also will go depending on, like, if I'm throwing a frog and I'm having a lot of them either blow up and miss it, or I'll either trim the legs and see if that will help my hookup ratio, or I will opt for a smaller frog.
She knows what she's talking. I like this topwater fisherman.
Yeah. So the frog is your topwater bait of choice, it sounds.
I would, yeah, that, or I've really started to like the whopper plopper.
There we go.
Did you say whammy?
Lily pads, obviously.
Yeah, see.
That's the problem. Vegetation is tough to fish around, but yeah, when you fish outside the vegetation, that thing's a killer.
Oh, it's so much fun.
What?
And even if they don't bite it, I just like hearing the whop, whop, whop,
Oh,
whop,
yeah.
whop, whop.
Yeah.
What's your favorite pattern size whopper plopper?
Ooh, trying to remember the exact specifics. I think I'm not positive, but it might be like the 119.
Yeah, the 190. Yeah.
That might be it. Yeah.
That's
I
the
knew it was
gigantic
like,
one, yeah?
Yeah, it's the,
no, not the gigantic. It's the middle size. I'm unfortunately
110?
do not know the exact specifics.
Yeah, the middle
yeah,
size.
Yeah, she's the 110. Yeah, they're nice. And I like the perch colored one. But we've been over this.
The one I use is like a gray or blue, just because that's kind of what we have. We have a lot of shad or shiners, so I try to kind of match what's in their habitat that they feed on.
I don't get it. I have a lake that is packed full of shad. Millions and billions and quadrillions and trillions and more than that shad. There's so many shad they block out the fish finder, and they will not hit anything that looks like a shad. Like, they just must be, like, I guess if you're sitting in a room with 6,000 Big Macs, and you're like, I just want a cheeseburger.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I want Chick-fil-A.
I'm sick of shad.
I don't know if that's the way my fish are, but if you throw shad color in my lake, they won't touch it. And it's all shad. But
Well, it kind of makes sense. You got to throw something, different to probably catch their attention, because they're used to seeing all those shad, and so you got to throw something a little.
yeah. If you look at some of the topwater pictures later on the Instagram we talked about, you will see on my Instagram that I won't show the frog that I throw very often, but I'll give you a hint since we're going to edit it out. If you take a topwater frog, because I don't think that they sell one, and spray paint it gold, I have caught more bass on a gold frog than I've caught on anything else.
Really?
Really?
Don't listen to this. I'm talking to her.
Oh.
You never even... But yes,
Sure.
I don't know what it is with the gold color. I don't... especially in my lake, gold colors. Like,
there are not many gold frogs.
Well, I got it because the gold-colored whopper plopper was on
my
fire.
frog right now.
Yeah.
The gold-colored whopper plopper was on fire for weeks, and then I wanted to throw a frog. So one night I spray painted it gold last year, and
Just got bored or
Why
what?
are we just hearing about this now?
I'm telling her because she's a true topwater fish. She knows what cutting the legs off
This is only for true topwater.
trimming the
my
leg.
bad,
She
my
said
bad.
it, so I had
All
to
right.
give her the hit. Yeah.
Fair
Now,
enough.
do you have a go-to frog lure that you prefer, like brand?
I don't. I like a popper frog just because I can work
Okay.
it both ways. I can work it slow or pop it. I don't have any. I think I've bought every frog on the market. And
I'm
tried 'em.
sure you have.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't have a typical brand that I like.
Sport shop there.
The just throwing frogs in general, watching the explosions, all I care about. I dream about it. I wake up and I go to work. The girls at work that I work with get sick and tired of me talking about topwater fishing.
Right.
I mean, these guys are archery hunting, and I'm like, I caught something on topwater in October. Like it's still on. I hold on. Stevie does the same thing.
Yeah.
Stevie holds on to it till his heart will stop beating, going, I know they'll hit it. I'll just throw it for 4 hours. I know they'll hit it. It's been over for 4 months.
Yeah.
Catfish's topwater reports should be a thing on the internet, but every other week or two, topwater's back on, boys. And you just, I don't know.
I love it. We went to Florida, and for the first 3 days, it's all the way through watching other guys catch fish.
He ain't lying.
He doesn't. You can lead a catfish to water, but you can't make them not throw topwater.
We went snook fishing in the ocean. I was throwing whopper ploppers to try to catch a snook on a whopper plopper.
That's
for 4 hours.
It didn't work.
He had a spray paint, a gold can of spray paint in his back pocket. But I was wondering what he's doing with it.
People do weird things, man. Spray painting the lures. I mean, it doesn't have to look pretty as long as it's the right color.
Right.
How late in the year does topwater season run out there?
I'd say normally we start end of May, beginning of June, and go through. We've caught fish all the way through October on topwater. I know a lot of people do really well on muskie. I don't know their topwater season per se, but I think it might be in October as well. Unfortunately, though, like our water temperature this year, we had a lot of rain and it cooled way down.
Oh,
so our
tell me
season
about
kind
it.
of just took a crap for us. So that was really hard to swallow.
That's funny because at least the same thing. I experienced the same exact thing here. I think these other guys probably did too. But it was great. The end of September, and then 2 hurricanes blew through here, and we got 6 feet of rain or something like that. And the water temperature dropped 15 or 20 degrees in a couple days.
The river never recovered after that first couple weeks.
Yeah. The Susquehanna's been a couple
high.
feet high for 2 months now. So 3 months, or all summer actually. But
Yeah, definitely. We had that, unfortunately, so we didn't even get good topwater fishing through September. Like last year, we were killing it September. Mm-hmm. This year, it kind of ended early, and it was highly disappointing.
Bless your heart.
yeah.
You can't tell from all those pictures, though.
Chris,
We're not crying for you there.
I have to change the subject because my mind's going 100 miles an hour on topwater, so we got to get off. They're all I'm going to talk
Quick.
about. What's so wild game wise, fish, wild game, deer, whatever you guys hunt up, or turkeys. What's your favorite wild game to eat?
Ooh, I'm a big fan of venison backstraps or a tenderloin. That way, I'm a steak and potato type girl.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, otherwise, wild turkey. We make turkey nuggets in the deep fryer, and boy, there's nothing better.
Do you guys cook your back straps do you smoke them, throw them in the oven?
We actually we'll cut backstraps like in a chunk and then unthaw it, and then we'll cut it super thin and then just pan fry it with onions and just kind of cook it till it's like a medium rare, maybe medium, and just eat it that way. It's super quick and easy, especially when you're getting home.
You lost me with onion.
Will doesn't like onion.
Everybody knows
How
that.
are you human?
What? Just hang up on him. It's okay to hang up on him. No.
All right, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah. Dad did the same thing. He would butterfly his back straps and cook them with butter and onions in a skillet. That's how I grew up eating it.
Really?
Right.
And then if we had some gravy laying around, we'd throw gravy on it. But it wasn't. I didn't get into like smoking venison until I was out of college, actually.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and then like wrapping it in bacon and putting I put jalapeno peppers under the bacon and smoke it like that in the smoker. And I don't know if I don't smoke it quite long enough till it's not done, but I don't like to take it full smoked, and I like to take it out and finish it under the broiler real quick to get that bacon right. But you're right. Venison backstraps, if people out there that don't hunt, I think, are missing out. People that have never eaten it, or somebody that had a deer steak once and said, "Oh, I don't like venison." Somebody didn't cook it right.
Yeah.
We'll just.
Well, that unfortunately happens a lot. People are like, "Oh, venison's gamey," and I'm like, "Then you've obviously either not had it cooked right, prepare. Even if you pressure cook it, like canned venison, and I can tell you can't tell the difference between that and beef.
No, you cannot.
It's wonderful. I haven't done that in a while. I probably should do that this year.
Jimmy, I used to hunt up on the land with. That's all he does with it.
Yeah.
He gives me gives me a jar of it, and it comes out. It's like pot roast. You can't. Oh, it's so stupid good.
What do you can
Melts
it
in-
in?
It
Like
Melts in your mouth.
We're not getting into that on it. It's a whole nother episode on how to can venison.
Pickled
like a
deer.
brine?
Yeah.
Really?
If Buck was here, he'd tell you how to like pickle
Oh,
walleye
yeah.
eyes and all kinds of stuff.
Cheeks at least.
Yeah. Actually, it's crazy because when we go fishing, when we go ice fishing, I believe that the crappies that we catch, we don't really keep crappies all year.
Mm-hmm.
We catch them for fun, and then we do keep some for fish fries during the winter because I believe through the ice they're just cleaner. They're more firm. I think the meat tastes better
Sweet.
throughout the winter. Whatever that is, but a lot of the guys will take the crappie eyes and use them as bait while we're on the ice and catch perch with them because they're
Really?
like magnets. Oh yeah, if you take that eye out and you put it on a little tiny hook and drop it down, it's like instantly. It's like lightning. Perch.
No way.
But you can't keep them. You can't like take them home and freeze them or anything. It don't work. They'll fall off the hook.
Yeah.
I don't know. Try that. You guys have crappies up here, obviously. Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
We-
some pictures
We
of
get a lot of crappie.
It feels a little
Tanks on-
Viking-ish to rip their eye out, but it's they're already dead. So
I saw a picture of a gar. You have gar up there?
Yes, we do.
all the way in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep.
You bow
We
fish
get a
them,
lot
don't
of
you?
gar. Yes. We both fish them, or I've caught them on regular rigs. I've caught them on topwater, actually.
What?
Frogs. So
Whoa!
Yeah.
How do you hook a gar on a topwater frog?
I guess
I think it was just like a
That-
stupid lucky accident.
Wow!
The steel leader I was using wrapped around its mouth and rehooked itself back into the frog.
Oh, there you go.
I bet.
Wow,
they're
that's
a bony,
awesome.
They're a bony, oily
Gar
fish.
noosed it. We don't have them. We have them down east, and Maryland has them,
Yeah.
but we don't. I mean, I hope I'm not wrong. I hope there's not some cool gar spot that I'm missing out on. But
I don't think
maybe we
I don't
can-
think we have them here.
Get the game commission to start stalking them.
I've never caught one.
the
here.
gar recovery.
Gar
program.
recovery program in Pennsylvania. Kristen, we are quickly bumping up on time here.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool companies you work with, right?
Yes, there are.
Yeah, you want to give those guys, those folks, a shout out.
Well, I definitely like to take a minute on Legendary Whitetails if you've not heard of them. They are doing something called a Hunt on Us campaign right now up until November 21st, I believe. If you buy a bow or gun license, you take a picture of it, you submit your email, they will send you a $25 gift card. It's their way of giving back. They understand that hunting is an expensive sport, so they're trying to make it so your costs, are not just going towards, obviously it's going towards conservation when you buy a license, but this is their way of giving back. And they've got great flannels, and I can't tell you how many products of theirs I own. I own probably way too much, but that's definitely one of my favorites. I have nothing but pleasant things to say about them.
Cool. Well, they have a website?
Yep, legendarywhitetails.com. They've got both men and women's apparel, camo, anything you pretty much would want to look for. The only thing I kind of put an ear on, I said, hey, if you could make jeans, then you'd be my one-stop shop. So
2019, they're listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope so.
Cool. All right. And so Catfish has one final question that he's going to ask you that he asks everyone.
Pretty much everyone. But
we have on the show.
If he likes you,
Yeah.
he breaks
Yeah.
out this question.
I like this one. We'll ask her.
Yeah.
So if money was no object and no time off work, nothing. You just had the freedom to do what you want. What would be your bucket list hunt or fishing trip in the world?
I've had a lot of time to think about this, and one I'm actually going to be hopefully going on this year with Nicole Stone Outdoors.
What?
We are supposed to go up to Lake Winnipeg and target those big greenbacks up there. That's always been a big bucket list of mine to travel to Canada to fish. And for my hunt, I'd honestly say either an elk hunt out west or a Saskatchewan buck hunt.
Yeah, yeah.
Big bucks.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like cows
Those
with
beautiful
horns.
chocolate racks.
Yeah.
I'm in love with their racks up there. I just think they're beautiful.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. Yeah. Well, you're gonna need them lacrosse ice breaker sketcher things.
Ice Kings.
That's what I said. That's why we recorded.
Ice sketcher.
And
Ice sketcher, yeah. I'm gonna
because
wear tennis shoes on the ice. Good idea.
it's gonna be cold up in Saskatchewan. But I hope you get there. And I love your Instagram. We love following you. Nicole Stone's, a very cool chick to hang out with. You guys are
gonna
kill
have a
it.
blast. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm super excited. Her and I have been texting back and forth the last couple weeks about it, and we're both so excited to get up there.
Cool.
We're hoping that the two of you and a few others that we've talked to make it out here to the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the biggest hunting and fishing show in the world. As far as a
Consumer
show goes, but you guys are always welcome to come out and hang out in Harrisburg in our backyard, and you come out here and see that show. I think you guys would enjoy that too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the offer, and I hope someday I can take you up on it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, Krysten. Thanks for getting down out of the stand early tonight to spend some time with us. We appreciate that.
Well, thanks, guys. I've had a great time talking to you.
Don't forget now to send me the coordinates to that ice fishing, catfishing spot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I won't share it with anybody.
No, nobody? Okay. And I won't tell your super secret, secret about bass fishing.
No.
I'll keep that one quiet, too.
No. The gold spray paint's a top secret.
Check her
I'll
out.
keep my mouth shut.
Check her out on Instagram, Krysten Potega, KrystenPotega. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
He's been practicing.
Man, all week long I've been spelling that in my head. So it
paid
nailed
off.
it.
Yeah,
it paid off.
Nicely done.
All right. Well, where can they find us?
Oh, you can find us at rutandriverpursuits.com. You can find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also check us out on the YouTubes,
Rut and River Pursuits
podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. And we got some pretty cool information now.
Big news.
News flash.
What's that, bud?
Come across the board. We're now on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah. So you can find us on most of the podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music are just, two of the big ones, but you can also find us on the Spotify now, which is really cool.
Very cool.
Subscribe to the episodes on one of those outlets. You get them all twice a week automatically.
All right, guys. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Krysten.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bring 'em wheeling.
Bye, Krysten.
Pretty nice little Tuesday.
Yeah, perfect. Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday, but
What?
I was like,
Why don't you redo
do
that
I
one?
correct?
can you dedicate a hook set to us sometime?
I
Like
think
on
that could be
your
arranged.
on your video. This one's for R2 and really crank on that thing.
R2.
Yeah.
I think that could be arranged.
That is funny.
And just eat it that way. It's super quick and easy, especially when you're getting home.
You lost me with onion.
Will doesn't like onion.
Everybody knows
How
that.
are you human?
What? Just hang up on him. It's okay to hang up on him. No.
All right, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Big news.
News flash.
What's that, bud?
Come across the board. We're now on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah.